Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another episode of Delve Requisite with some faces you haven't seen in a while. Not Russell's face, you see his every week.
One you're forced to look at all the
time. We have most of the Fool's Errant with us here tonight for an episode of OG Group D&D. As you can see, though I'm sure nobody actually notices this, I have a different set of headphones on than I usually do. So if that has caused things to be wonky with sound, where like either I am too loud or too quiet, or these guys are too loud or too quiet, do not hesitate to yell at us in chat so that we can try and get that fixed. As I've only been doing this for almost 3 years, clearly I have not had enough time to actually learn how to be better at any of this than I am.
Learning curve.
3 more years. Oh boy, this production's going to be fantastic. So, before we jump into things, let's take a quick couple of seconds to give a shout out to our sponsors. As always, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games sponsoring Proficiency Bonus. Little Dragon Corp, of course, is a Canadian-based dice maker. And for once, I have my little... actually, these might be invisible on the green screen. I have my Little Dragon Corp dice. They're super invisible. Somebody gave me some green Little Dragon Corp dice, so you can enjoy... that. I can't show them to you, because they don't really show up on camera. Also, my shirt is also invisible. I made poor wardrobe choices today. But Little Dragon Corp,
and every day.
That's actually it's a feature. You too can buy invisible dice from Little Dragon Corp. But if you go to their website by typing in !Little Dragon in chat, you can get a link. You can use our code PROBONUS at checkout to get a 10% discount on your order. That's PRO bonus, all one word. Also, !CCG, Cardboard Castle Games, brick and mortar tabletop gaming store located here in the United States, in Evans, Georgia. Fear not, if you are not also located here in the United States in Evans, Georgia, they have a robust online store that you can take care of all of your tabletop gaming needs. Thank you, Cardboard Castle and Little Dragon Corp, for sponsoring Proficiency Bonus. So, for our dear sweet audience, and certainly not for our dear sweet players, because they clearly know what's going on and don't super duper need a recap, let's fill in, because it's been a little while. The Fool's Errant, on an errand for the Ordinum Libri, for the bookkeepers. The Fool's Errant have come to the Volondan city of Volrenheim. This is a large metropolitan city, one of the major ports on the eastern coast of Orahol, and is also where party member Bram spent a good portion of his youth, after we learned he was sort of smuggled out of the Empire by 2 characters who we met by the name of Reynard and Isengrim, who currently run a sort of a music hall by the name of the Twilight Royale here in the city. The bookkeeper business that you were here on was to find and retrieve a particular tome that the bookkeepers have been looking for their collection. A tome on part of a set, a treatise on translocative magic, a particular volume that the bookkeepers have been missing that was rumored to be coming up this way and being sold at a private auction. You successfully concluded that business by kind of asking questions, skulking around, and tracing the auction to where it took place, and from there to the buyer of that particular item, who turned out to be sort of a socialite, high elven, Ignean Empire, like trade baron's son, who just had bought it because he likes to throw money around, and impress his various romantic suitors, one of whom, with which he was having a quarrel, and he agreed to just simply give you the book if you would, in exchange, go to his the garden of the romantic fling who had spurned him, go to their house and mess up their garden, as it was the highest of insults that he could think to deliver. You guys successfully did this, which involved the very famous scene of Ozrius punching the family bush, and returned.
Pending.
Retrieved the book that you came for, as well as an enchanted rapier that you sort of swindled off of that same noble. While in town, however, you guys were also conducting business of your own. This sort of personal business for the party was why you guys chose to take an Ordinum job posting that would bring you to this city in the first place. Being that Bram was raised here, this is also the place that Bram initially became entangled, was recruited to, dare I might say, indoctrinated into the Ordinum Libri in the first place, or the Ordinum Libri, the Brotherhood of Artanis in the first place. An organization whom he worked for is sort of like a kind of like a bagman slash like muscle, not being given a lot of information, but being given very specific sets of training and skills over the years. But only recently has he come to learn, alongside with you, that the Brotherhood of Artanis does not have perhaps the motivations that they had suggested to Bram. Bram had always known that they were sort of the type to achieve their goals by any means, even if they were perhaps slightly questionable. But the true depths of their sinister nature have become more and more apparent, and the Fools Errant have found themselves on the wrong side of the Brotherhood of Artanis' plans a number of times over the last year and a half to 2 years that you guys have been together since being gathered by Tori and Idrian. So you came here using that Brotherhood job as a convenient reason to get yourself up here, truly to kind of run down some old contacts of Bram, right some old wrongs that he had left here, and try to gain information about the Brotherhood of Artanis, their plans, their movements, their structure, and really anything. As Bram's information has really, been able to get you only so far as kind of like the things that that he was doing. It seems to be a very isolated organization where individual agents and even individual cells of agents don't seem to communicate with each other. By design. So you followed some old leads. You slew a slumlord by the name of Garl the Rat King, taking his ring of rat command from him, and sort of working out a deal with a rival would-be slumlord by the name of Lemuel. Lemuel was able to provide you enough information to direct you to an individual by the name of Blakelock, who serves as an individual that is something of a recruiter for the Brotherhood of Artanis. His predecessor was the individual who inducted Bram into the organization years ago. The Brotherhood having this sort of arrangement with certain individuals within the city where, in exchange for either information or weapons or monetary support, the Brotherhood sort of feeds these individuals things they need that allow them to grasp power in some of these shelled out neighborhoods. And in exchange, these individuals sort of filter potentially talented individuals who are otherwise down on their luck towards the Brotherhood, so that they can kind of get their hooks into them and reel them in. So this Blakelock is the modern day equivalent of the individual who served the same function when Bram was no more than 19. you traveled to the site of a very high stakes drinking and gambling, kind of like smoking lounge, very high society sort of establishment by the name of the Red Tail, which is where you were told that Blakelock tends to conduct his business most of the time. You kind of like performed some skullduggery to get into, get past the gate, get into the place, and were in the process of kind of trying to talk your way in to see Blakelock, when you were just extended an invitation, as if he knew you were coming. So the four of you, or the three of you, along with Ozrius, who I'll handle tonight if we need to do stuff with him, were in the presence of Blakelock, having a conversation where he surprised you a little bit in that he basically just offered you free passage to just leave the city and go about your business in exchange for not interfering with things here in the city anymore. He seemed less interested in sort of the Brotherhood as a whole and like their motivations and the things that they had going on, and more interested in the fact that his operation here is profitable for him, and you guys, just by nature of your presence, are like a disrupting factor. So he basically told you, like, the Brotherhood has put a price on your head. Like, they have said that if you interfere with anything or show up, you are to be killed, because you've proven problematic. But he basically said, I'm willing to pretend I never saw you, to guarantee that I'm not going to send anybody after you until you leave, and you can just leave the city and be on your way, and go do whatever you're going to do, and just don't mess with my operation any more than you already have, because you did kill Garl the Rat King. You kind of countered with, okay, but we want all the information you have on the Brotherhood. He refused, and Bram worked a spell onto him. He worked his words of terror onto Blakelock, and then used his hat of the ram to like bash Blakelock out of his seat, and stood up and threatened him, basically to pry the information from him. It was then that we took a sidestep, and we saw a flashback to Bram meeting with Blakelock's predecessor, who Bram had been sent to on the behest of Garl the Rat King, and who was offering Bram all of these things, this, the ability to gain power, the ability to change things, the ability to like get out of his situation, and so much more. And as initiation, he was to do a job. That job turned out to be pulling a heist from the counting house of Morgan, Feller, and Karn, the large bank here in Volrenheim. We saw that heist play out, and ultimately lead to the team who had been hired to do this running afoul of the authorities in their escape plan. All ending in like a high-speed cart chase through the streets of the city, ending on the broad bridge, which spans the harbor, where authorities, city guard, were closing in on either side from one end of the bridge, with the group in the middle, and the leader of the outfit, an individual by the name of Randall Sinclair, basically tucked an envelope into Bram's shirt, the thing that they had stolen from the bank, from the individual, and threw him off the wagon, off the bridge, into the river below, to protect him, so at least he would get away with and bring what they had stolen back to the Brotherhood, before the remainder of the crew was ostensibly captured and taken to prison. So we return now, after all of this time, Oh boy. I'm just looking at chat. After all this time, we return now to that sort of back room in the Red Tail. Blakelock is like sprawled against like the desk behind the chair he was in. The chair is like knocked akimbo to the side. Bram is standing like where it had been. And Bram, I think where we kind of left this off, I believe Blakelock said something to the extent of, "I knew it. I knew you couldn't be trusted." And Bram, I believe you said something to the extent of, "I'm going to do what I always do in these situations. I'm going to survive." And so, I will turn it to you. And before, like, shit pops off, what are you guys doing?
So, the
We're
guy
only ones
spoke.
in the room, right?
I was say we were the only ones in the room, and I think like the one person
It's
that
just-
he had as a guard was like outside.
It's just the five of you in the room, the four of you in Blakelock. You know that there's at least like there are goons nearby, because like there was a guy that brought you in, but there's also like those two other guys who like they're like the ones that got Ozrius. Like there's security around, and ostensibly
How many
like
doors are there to this room?
there are two doors to the room. The one you guys came through, and then there's one like kind of around behind, and so like if you're facing the desk or like from the direction you guys were sitting in your chairs, there is a door like in front and to your right, and then a door behind you.
Yeah, have we seen anybody come in or out of that door?
You have not seen anybody come in or out of that door. Everybody who has entered or exited this room since you guys came in here came through the door that you guys
First
had.
thing,
Door opens in or out?
Oh, the door opens in.
Okay.
Both of them.
Aelar's going to grab his chair and he's going to jam the back of his chair into the door to basically stop that one fast.
Okay.
The first thing Brahms would do, or the only thing depending on which time it is, the other door, the like main door, Brahms would go, "Oz, lock that door."
Oz goes, and then just takes like the entire goddamn couch that you guys were like sitting near and just goes poof, and puts it in front of the door, and he just goes, "Locked."
Thanks, Ass. And Aelar's going to watch the door that he stopped. And go, "Work fast, Bram."
I'm gonna wait. I'm not. I have nothing immediate that I can do that makes sense.
Okay.
I will turn to Black and say, "This goes one of two ways. You tell me what I want to know, and I kill you quickly. Or you don't tell me what I want to know, and I kill you real slowly, and then I get the information anyway. Your choice."
He has that like spark of kind of like enchanted terror in his eyes as you say this, and he kind of catches you off guard a little bit as he kind of like, "I'm dead no matter what I do. I should have known better than to ever take this meeting." And he reaches into his like collar, and he like pulls out something on like a chain around his neck, and he puts it to his lips, and he goes, and it's like a small, very narrow, like silvery whistle. Puts it to his lips, and but no sound comes out.
I would like to, if possible, if I have a fast enough reaction time, just take like the palm of my hand and just like that whistle.
Make an attack roll against him. We'll call this an unarmed strike.
That's a 19 plus things, maybe.
Let's see, what's his?
Do I have an unarmed strike?
You
Use
probably
your
are not
uh,
proficient,
Strength.
so it would just be the
modifier.
dice
Unarmed strike
plus
is
your
plus
strength.
3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so your strength. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you like
me too.
he goes, and you just like take 2 steps forward and like open palm this thing, and he sort of like chokes on it a little bit, but he like flings it away from his mouth. You see there is like a little bit of blood on like the mouthpiece of the whistle where it like hit him in the roof of the mouth when you like punched it into him.
It was the only good roll I have. For
he still like spits it out. It's still on the chain around his neck. But at this point, I'm gonna need everybody to roll initiative, because the next thing that he does after this takes place is he like reaches down into like where he's like grabbing for a weapon.
Boy, starting strong.
Yeah.
Solid 8.
11.
We got Bram.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. So, Bram, what I will say, I kind of like let it pass before, when you did the ram's horn on him. But Words of Terror, that enchantment is broken when you attack a creature affected by it. So like since it was like a kind of a cool combo moment, like I let it pass with the the ram's horn. But when you have like now that you like punched him with this thing, that enchantment is now shattered, so he is no longer afraid of you. Well, I mean he's afraid of you, but not magically afraid of you.
He's very stupid then. I'm just enjoying imagining the sound that, like, getting a whistle slapped at your throat would make.
Okay, so first in the initiative, so Bram, you are standing over Blakelock. Aelar, you're like by the back door to this room, having like thrown your chair. Ozrius is by the front door, having like shoved the couch in front of it. And Walter, you're just sort of like kind of mid-room as you didn't move from where you guys were seated. The first thing in the initiative that's going to happen is a window shatters. So if you imagine like there's the door that you guys came through. There are 2 windows like on the far side of the room, like behind the desk that Blakelock is up against. There's no windows on the side of the room that Aelar is on. That has like a door and like more interior building. The opposite side from where Aelar is, there's 2 windows on that. One of those windows like smashes inward, and you see what looks like it's just like one of the stools from like just one of the tables in the seating area in like either an exterior one of the like places around the outside of this area. Somebody just like throws a stool through this window, and then I'm gonna have them make a dexterity throw. An individual, like a person, comes after it, and they kind of like Jackie Chan style, like swan dive, like Superman dive, just like whoop, neatly through the window, like perfectly coming through the opening that they made in the glass, and like tuck and rolling and coming to their feet. And you see it is that. Fix my camera here. There we go. You see it is that that sort of like dark, kind of suited individual that you guys had been like trying to intimidate at the door. He like comes in, stands up, like brushes a little bit of like glass bits off of his lapels, and like puts his fists up. But he did have to use his movement to like get through here, and his action to break the window. So that's all he's gonna do for the time being. Next in the initiative, that is gonna be Bram. So Bram, you're above Blakelock. This other guy has just come like tumbling into the room.
I have a question that you may not have the answer to. I have some used spell slots, but I don't know if that's because we haven't rested or because I never hit reset. Did we rest before we
I
came
am
here?
down on hit points, but I didn't use any spell slots, it looks like. So I think
I'm
we
also
haven't
down on
rested.
hit points, so I guess we haven't rested.
Bitter
Um,
here. I thought.
I don't know what we did before this. I thought we had went
I
to the bar
thought
and hung
that you
out.
guys went back to the Twilight Royale
Yeah.
We counted that as a
And-
short rest.
and had a short rest.
Yeah, so that's why I'm a little bit down on hit
Yeah,
points.
that's
I'm
why I
all the way
said-
down
okay.
on hit points, and I
Okay,
have all
yeah.
my spell slots back. So we short rested.
So
Um,
I don't get the spell slots back, right?
on a short rest, no, you would not have.
That. Fortunately, I used all my 4th level spell slots and 2 3rd level spell slots. But the first thing I'm gonna do, I'll blow my last 3rd level spell slot, is Captain Jumpy Through the Window
Yeah.
champ is gonna get Cloud of Daggers immediately.
Ooh, okay. I believe that is a dex save on his part, right?
Nope, it just appears, I think. He
No,
gets
I mean
blinded.
let me double check. I think he has to dex save or take half damage on his turn.
Ethereum send on the point you choose within range. A creature takes 44 slashing damage when it enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts it there. So yeah, there's no save. It just gets
Oh
blinded.
shit. Okay.
I think we have the same thing every time I cast this
We
spell.
do.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
like if you're in it,
So-
you get blended.
Alrighty. First time on a turn or starts. Okay. All right. So that is up. He will take that damage on his turn.
Okay, I'm gonna roll it now.
So you like fling your arm to the side, and this just like whirling, semi-translucent, just like typhoon of slashing energy appears, like surrounding this guy. Alrighty. Anything else?
Probably not, because I don't want to move and I don't want to. Yeah, anything else is gonna break my
Okay.
concentration. So no.
Alrighty. That's gonna bring us to Blakelock. So what Blakelock is gonna do? He is going to. He's gonna use half of his movement. He's gonna stand up. He's gonna survey the room. He kind of like quickly casts his eyes around the room. And he's gonna look at you. No, he's gonna look at Ozrius. He's gonna look at Ozrius, and he's gonna cast a spell. He like reaches into his pocket. He pulls out like a handful of something, which he like flings into the air in the direction of Ozrius. And he like utters this this arcane word while like drawing a sigil in the air with his other hand. And he's gonna try and cast confusion on Ozrius. Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually not targeted. It's everybody in a 10-foot radius sphere. So he's actually gonna target that such that he's gonna get Ozrius, Walter, and Bram. Aelar, because you're like at that other door to the side. He kind of drops it on Walter to hit the other three.
What kind of save is it?
I need you guys to make a Wisdom saving throw.
$17.
Okay.
And
I'll make one for Oz. Okay, Oz rolled
Fusion's a
a
very
4.
good spell when you're using it and not when it's being used against you.
How'd you do, Walter?
10.
10. I do not think a 10 is going to be enough. I'm trying to find
I
his
doubt
spell
it.
save.
For this level, it's probably like 13, 14, or 15. Realistically.
Is he the
Yeah.
same level as us?
You don't know that.
Oh, well, if he's a level 8, then it's a. Mine is a 14, I think. So I don't know if it's the
It's
same.
also dependent upon his
it's-
spell casting ability.
Oh, that's
yeah.
true.
And if it's
I'm just
if it's
trying
a
to find it.
CR monster and not like a PC, it could be even higher just for challenge rating
Ooh,
purposes.
okay. Yeah, his spell save is much higher. What did you say you rolled, Bram?
17.
Okay, so you make it. The other two do not. So, Walter and Ozrius, you guys are both confused. We'll cover what that means when we get to your guys' turn.
I have it up.
Okay. That is Blakelock's turn. So Aelar, that is going to bring us to you.
Okay, I see him do that. I realize, crap, this is very bad. Blakelock gets to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Ooh, I don't know what his wisdom is off the top of my head, but it's not going to make a difference when he rolls a 2.
I cast Hideous Laughter.
Ooh, okay.
So that should break his concentration.
I believe... Let's see.
Let's see.
I believe becoming incapacitated means you cannot concentrate the spell.
Yep.
Okay. So he flings these like 3 like peanut shells out into the room. The spell overtakes
peanuts, honestly. That's my keyword for the spell.
Walter and Ozrius, you guys like get a little like dazzled, and seeing that he's like snared 2 out of 3 of you, he goes, and the spell immediately like shatters as he just like falls to the ground, clutching his abdomen, cackling madly as this spell takes effect on him. Okay, so you guys are no longer confused. He loses his concentration. The next initiative, what is going to happen? I'm going to have Ozrius make a contested strength roll, as there is like the door that he's like holding the couch in front of. You just hear like as somebody like slams it from the other side. So the person in question rolls a 6, which plus their strength modifier makes it a 10. Ozrius, oh no, Ozrius rolls a 5. He might have enough strength that he's okay. Let's see. I gotta get Oz's character sheet up.
He probably has a +7 at minimum.
Campaign. Ozrius. He's got to beat a 10. He's got a 5. And his athletics, yes, is a +7. So you just the door like buckles in like 2 inches, and you can see the shoulder of like another one of these like beefy security guys. But he manages to like shove it closed again. And keep somebody else from getting into the room at this point. That will bring us now to the bottom of the initiative, to Walter.
Did Dr. Window Smash go yet?
His whole move was to get into the room.
He took 14 cloud daggers.
No, it has not been his turn again yet. He's going to be after Walter, and that will be the first turn in which he's been in the cloud of daggers.
All right. Well, he's going to
go next.
He's going to be...
He went before you, Bram.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
He got in the room, you cloud of daggers him, and then his turn's up again next.
He's going to be hexed.
Okay.
He's going to be hexed for dexterity. Strength.
Okay. Strength.
Strength.
Right.
So disadvantage on strength checks. And then he's going to get double Eldritch Blasted.
Okay.
Because that's how we do here. It's a 14 and a... Uh, 15.
One of those will hit.
Alright, so... Boy, I wish all this wasn't in the way of clicking the buttons that I need to roll. So he takes 10 Eldritch Blast damage.
Okay.
He's not being moved in any way, and then he's going to take another 4 necrotic damage from Hex.
Okay. So you like Eldritch Blast him. He kind of staggers back a little bit. Alrighty. Anything else, Walter?
That's everybody.
Alright. So it is now this guy's turn. So you said it was 14 damage, Bram? From the cloud of daggers? Okay, so he'll get sliced and diced by that cloud of daggers. He lets out this like and he's going to like bowl forward out of it. moving in and pulling from his his belt. He's got like a scabbard, and he pulls out this like long. It's not quite a short sword, but it's not quite a dagger. He pulls out this like long bladed weapon, and he is going to. Run up, and he's gonna make. So you just Eldritch Blast him, Walter. So he's gonna make 2 attacks against you. That
How many feet did he move up? Roughly?
Nobody is more than like 15 feet from each other in this room.
So like maybe like 10 feet.
He moved like 10 feet. Yeah. It's pretty close quarters. So his 2 attack rolls are a 16 and a. 16 and a 19, so I assume he's going to hit you twice.
I'm going to shield.
Okay.
So only one of those will hit. The 19 will hit.
Okay, so the 19 hits. He's going to deal...
I'm going to have nightmares again. Very fun.
He's going to deal 5 points of piercing damage.
Alright.
And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna do the advantage Constitution save for maintaining my concentration first.
Okay.
So I have to do a 10. First one was a 19, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So now the concentration save for whatever this effect
Constitution for whatever is on the blade that he just stabbed you with.
The 17.
17 is going to be enough. So you will take... Hang on.
35 points.
No, you will take
damage.
12 points of poison damage.
Alright, and then I'm going to do concentration at advantage. 18 and a 21. So I'm maintaining concentration on Hex on this guy.
You're fine. Okay, great. So the concentration advantage there, that you're burning your mark, right? Is that what this is?
So there's several things happen also. Because apparently there's a feature about the mark that I forgot was a thing. Where the fuck? Sorry. Immediately after you cast your spell with the mark, you can choose one of your hit dice and roll it. Immediately after you cast a spell, roll the hit die. If you roll an even number, I gain 10 HP. If I roll an odd number, some random creature within 30 feet of me that's not me takes force damage equal to the number rolled. Just a part of the feat that I keep forgetting exists.
Okay.
So let me roll a d8. I rolled a 1. And that is... Oh my god.
The name of this feat again?
Aberrant Dragon Mark. You cast the first
So
one.
somebody's taking force damage.
A random person's taking 1 point of force damage. That's not me. So anybody that's within the room would take.
Anybody in the room. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3.
Should be 6 with me.
6 of you in the room. There's one guy. Oh, because Oz is not me.
4,
all
5,
right,
6,
then we'll do a 1d6, and we'll say 1 is Aelar, 2 is Bram, 3 is Ozrius, 4 is Blakelock, 5 is the guy who just stabbed you, and then 6 I'll reroll.
Okay.
1. So
Okay.
Aelar is going to take force damage.
Okay. So that was 17 total points of damage, right? 5 and 12.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. What was the question about the thing that you had a question about my ability?
Well, there's a thing where you
concentration?
like burn this for something, and it makes you have like bad dreams, right?
Whenever I cast the first level spell,
That's right. Okay.
I maintain concentration.
Okay.
That's of course I roll a natural 20 then.
It's the random flaw.
Okay, I was just making sure because I needed to know if I had to like prepare a nightmare.
Yeah, you have horrific nightmares after you use your mark. Is my
okay
flaw.
Alrighty, so you that happens. That is his turn. That brings us back to Bram in the initiative.
The bigger guy who jumped through the window, he probably looks like the beefier, bigger, like melee threat, right?
Probably.
Okay. So I'm going to cast Crown of Madness on him.
That would make you lose the knives.
Well, he's not in the knives.
You
anymore,
already
so
walked
they
out of
don't-
it.
That's
They don't
fair.
do me any good.
No, I was gonna blast him back into it.
He's gonna make a save, right? I believe he's gonna save because he rolled an 18. His wisdom's a +0, but he does get an 18.
Okay, then nothing happens. 15.
Okay, so you sort of like weave this spell cast and the cloud of daggers disappears. But he manages to like shake his head and clear the effect as you try to like ensorcel his mind. Anything else?
I'll give Bardic Inspiration to Walter.
All right. So D8 or D6.
Yes, 1d8.
All right.
Okay, that's gonna bring us to Blakelock, who is on the floor like cackling with laughter. He rolls a 2 again on his saving throw, so he's gonna continue to just like laugh on the floor, incapacitated, as he is not able to shake off Aelar's spell. Aelar, that will bring us to you.
All right. Let's deal with the threat that's currently in front of us, which is Mr. Jackie Chan, Henry Cavill, super dangerous dude.
Jackie Cavill.
Yeah, Jackie
Oh, God.
Cabot.
I hate that.
So I move up on him, draw the rapier, take a stab. 19.
A 19 will hit.
All right. Sneak attack. How many sneak attack dice do I get? God, I forget. It's been too long. Okay. Oh, I forgot they added that. That's good. There's that. Rapier, and I'm casting Booming Blade. I need to do that. Okay, so 9 plus 16, that's 25, and Booming Blade. Okay, so he takes 25 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
1 point of thunder damage. And I tell him, don't move.
Okay. All right. The door again. Contested strength throws. Nope. Again, a second wail on the door. Ozrius just like holding it shut. Keeps whoever's out there from getting in a second time here, which will bring us back to Walter.
All right. We're gonna frostbite this man.
Okay.
Fortunately, that does not trigger Hex because it's not an attack. It's just a save. It's a DC 14 con save.
Con save. Okay. He rolls a 15. His con is +2, so he succeeds. Is this a nothing happens type of spell, or is this a half damage type of deal?
As it turns out, it's a nothing happens kind of
Okay.
spell.
So you sort of like
I'm gonna pull out my shovel.
okay. So you
Shovel's
kind
an
of throw your
attack.
hand forward. You like try to pull like against the moisture in the air and like crystallize it, sucking all the heat out with your magic. So some sort of like crystals kind of form on like his clothes and his hair and stuff. But he doesn't seem especially affected by it. And so you pull your shovel out. Top of the order is going to bring us to the assassin. So Aelar, you're like, don't move. He goes, don't need to. And he like pulls out a second one of those knives, and he's gonna try and simultaneously stab both you and Walter.
Okay.
with his 2 attacks.
I give him
That
points for
is
style.
against Aelar. That is a 22.
That
And
definitely
against
hits.
Walter, that is a 19.
I can say a 10. I would
I
take a
could
10.
say a 10.
Yeah, 19 hits.
Aelar, you're going to take 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Walter, you're going to take 5 points of piercing damage again. I need you guys to both to make Constitution saving throws. Technically, you guys need to both make 2 Constitution saving throws. Let's do against the poison first, and then we can kind of figure out how much.
My first con save was a 21.
Okay.
My con save was only a 9, so I'm
So
not
you're
doing
going to
well.
take 24 points of poison damage initially.
okay.
And
Ouch.
Walter, you only take 12 again.
So I take 17 points of damage again.
Concentration's gone.
Okay.
And then I have to make one more concentration save. Do I need, or am I doing the concentration for the combined damage?
You did. Did we do them separate last round?
I did it separately last time, but if
Then
you
let's
do
keep
for
doing it like
combined-
that. That's fine.
Okay, so I'll make
So just a pair of 10s.
22.
All right, then you're fine. So you do maintain your hex.
I had a 20. I had a 20 for the first one, and then a 22 for the second one.
No
So.
problem. So the hex is on him. However, Blakelock from the ground is like, God damn it. And he's like starting to regain his feet, Bram. And that brings us to you.
Oh. Well, I'm out of spell slots for that. I'm gonna try Crown of Madness again and hope he doesn't roll as well this time.
On the assassin or on Blakelock?
Yeah, on the assassin.
He will roll. He rolls a 3 this time, so he will
Okay.
fail. Let's see. I don't know that this is going to help as much as you think it is, considering the only 2 people in melee of him are your allies.
That is correct. Oh no.
That you mentally
never mind.
choose, so you can actually tell him to do nothing.
Yeah, I can tell him to do nothing.
Okay, cool. Oh, actually, no. It can act normally on its turn if you choose no creature. It actually
I
doesn't
think
say
I
he doesn't
can-
have to move. You can make him attack Blakelock.
That's what I thought. I
Okay.
was gonna say,
Yeah, that makes sense.
He has to attack who I
Yes,
say.
yes.
They don't have to be within range.
Okay.
I wonder if it's got a red.
Does that happen on my next turn or his turn or what?
It happens,
Or
I
now?
believe, on his turn.
Okay.
Before moving. Again, we circled back.
Well, I'm also gonna.
We're gonna say I'm gonna just for the sake of this, because this is too much back and forth. This room is small enough that I'm gonna let you choose Blakelock and have him attack Blakelock. If that's what you
Okay.
wanna do.
So
he has
I'll have him
he has to
attack
take
with
like a matter of like 1 step, essentially.
Does casting Bardic Inspiration doesn't break concentration, does it?
It does not.
Okay, then I'm gonna Bardic Inspire Ozrius just in hopes that he can keep that door.
Okay. That's what he's gonna do until he fails to do it. Okay. So Bram, you like clutch forward. This like twisted, jagged circle of like barbed wire appears around this guy's noggin, and his you see like his eyes like burn this almost like reddish fiery color as this magic like grips his mind. Blakelock is
For
gonna
Brahm's
use-
personal flavor, I like to think they burn purple.
Sure, they burn purple.
All of Brahm's magic is purple.
Blakelock is going to use his turn to draw. He flips out this like rapier that was like hidden somewhere in like maybe some kind of like a mechanism in his like sleeve, because it like flings out of his cuff, and he like catches the handle of it. And Bram, he's going to attack you with this rapier.
A
Man had
full
a
ass
whole
rapier just
rapier.
came out of his sleeve.
Yeah, it like you'd have to examine it later, but yeah, like he goes like, and like
Just gonna-
a full rapier comes out of his sleeve.
I
Like
see
Hook.
that. What? Yeah. Well, I don't know if Bram says it out loud or just thinks to himself, but he goes, "I am definitely taking that off your corpse."
You just gave me more inspiration.
Yeah. You hear Aelar from back over there. Dibs!
But it's true. Bram always has his sleeves rolled up, so it wouldn't do
That's
much
true.
good.
There it is. Okay.
Is he supposed to roll
23
to
hit.
attack Blake Lock?
Yeah, he's rolling to attack.
Okay.
Oh, it's not. It's Blake Lock's turn, not the assassin.
Oh, I thought you said you.
You're after the assassin.
Yes. So on his
He
turn,
stabbed.
He will attack.
The assassin stabbed Aelar and Walter. You Crown of Madness him. When we get back to
Yes.
his turn, then he
Okay.
goes.
I thought you said we were going to streamline and he was going to attack now. That's where I was.
No. Like, technically, he's not supposed to be able to move and attack, but I'm just gonna like rule that the quarters are close enough that I'm hand waving that part. But it's Blake Lock's turn. He attacks you, Bram. For a 23 to hit. So he's going to deal 5 points of piercing damage. And then you feel you're not usually on the receiving end of this. You take an additional 16 points of psychic damage as he like slashes you with this rapier, and like nails being dragged down a chalkboard, this like psychic reverberation coming off the vibrating tip of the rapier as it like slices past you, just like strikes you as he uses psychic blades against you. That's gonna be Blake Lock's turn, which will bring us to Aelar.
Okay, I see the spell effect. Right, and yep, moving on to the next target. Yeah, why not? Wisdom save for Blake Lock.
He gets a -1 wisdom. He sucks. He gets a 6.
I was assuming he was the one with the better whiz. That's why I didn't go for him.
Okay.
Wisdom is not good.
Thank goodness.
All his points are in charisma, apparently.
Christ.
Toll the Dead.
Toll the Dead. Yeah, so he definitely fails. He will take full damage. And you're rolling
I'm rolling 2d12.
You are rolling the higher damage because he has taken damage.
Yeah. So he takes 18 points of oh god, is that thunder damage or is that necrotic? Necrotic.
I thought Toll the Dead was necrotic.
Yep.
Okay. So Aelar points his sword at him. The sword, similar to how like Bram in your head, Blake Lock's sword kind of went like Aelar's sword like comes to a stop, and this sort of reverberation, and it goes like and Blake Lock like staggers backwards, which will bring us to the door again. Oh boy, Ozrius is going to burn his bardic inspiration for this one. What is this, a D6 or a D8 at this level? D8.
1d8.
He gets an additional 5 from his bardic inspiration, which will bring his his roll just high enough.
No, thank God.
The door breaker down rolled a 17. He had a 14. He rolled a 5, which brings him to a 19, which is just enough to hold the door
Right move
closed.
on that one.
So he the door buckles in. He takes a half a step back and he goes, poof, shuts the door again. You can hear kind of a commotion is starting to build outside. You hear shouting of kind of you vaguely hear somebody got something to ram the door with. And it's like Oz is holding it. He's like, hurry!
We always go to the best parties, don't we?
So that was all right. So that brings us to Walter.
All right, we are going to Boy, I don't like the situation I'm in right now. I'm feeling like a quarter of my health is left.
The guy in front of you is
I-
like Crown of Madness, so he's just sort of like looking at like hallucinations or something. He doesn't seem to be focused.
I keep thinking of Animal from Revenge of the Nerds. Like, nerds!
Oh, but you meant Animal from the Muppets, where he was like,
Yeah, but either one.
Nemo!
Either one. So I'm gonna bonus action Shillelagh, because he doesn't get a save if he takes damage. I don't think so.
I don't know.
No. So
just on the end of his turns.
yes. So I know that regardless, but I'm going to Shillelagh bonus action and hit him in the face with a shovel.
Okay, roll the hit.
Do. That was a solid 24 sound.
That sounds more than enough to hit him.
Alright, that's going to be 8 points of magical bludgeoning damage, and he's going to take another... 1 point of necrotic damage. Yay!
All right. You like rear back the shovel. And he kind of looks like Joe Pesci in Home Alone, where he has like this sort of like forked imprint on his like the side of his head, where you smack him with the end of your hammer. But this twisted, jagged crown of iron is still around his head, and he like almost doesn't even react to getting like swatted in the face by this hammer. That is going to bring us to his turn, which, if I am interpreting correctly from before, Bram, your instruction is to have him attack Blakelock, yeah? All right, so he's going to step forward, and he's going to make 2 attacks against Blakelock with his swords. Oh! The first one is over 20, so I'm not going to worry about that. The second one is... is a 12, which I think does not hit Blakelock's AC. No. So Blakelock's going to get hit once. Blakelock takes 7 points of piercing. He's going to make a Constitution saving throw. He rolls a 4. So he takes an additional 24 points of damage of poison. And he is looking not so great. Neither is this other guy, but despite being, considering he's Crown of Madness still, he's also looking like very, very badly injured. So that is going to bring us to Bram's turn. And I will remind you, if you're wanting to maintain that Crown of Madness, it does take your action on your turn to do it. Otherwise, the spell will end. But like bonus action and movement and stuff, you're all free to do.
How messed up is Blakelock looking? Like, is
he doesn't quite look like a stiff, like it's not like a stiff breeze is gonna blow him over, but he's not looking great.
Okay. Probably whatever the other guy can do to him is going to be more damage than I can do to him. So I'm just going to Bardic Inspiration Oz again. keep the door closed.
Okay. So use your bonus action to Bardic Inspiration Bram. It is going to be Blakelock's turn. He is going to... He turns like past you. He's like, there's like panic in his eyes now. Like, this is not going well. You don't get the sense that he like thought it was gonna go well, but it's like going worse than he thought. So he's like definitely looking for like, what do I do? What do I do? He is going to. He's going to turn towards Ozrius. And he makes like a gesture with his hands. And he goes, "Large gentleman, why don't you just open the door?"
Oh no.
And he's going to try and ensorcel Ozrius here.
Does have Bardic
he
Inspiration?
has Bardic Inspiration. He also has advantage because you guys are currently fighting him. So Oz is going to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Oh no! Oh no!
With his -1 Wisdom.
Oh
Oh no!
You
He
rolled
rolled a
one.
1 and a 3.
Oh.
He had advantage, so it's a 3. -1 is a 2. Plus the Bardic Inspiration is a 5, which does not beat the 17 DC that he needed. And Ozrius goes.
All of my plans.
Ozrius goes.
Everything.
That seems reasonable, and just like steps away from the door.
God. Damn it, Oz.
So that is his turn. Which
Wait.
will...
Wait
ahead.
a second.
You have counterspell.
I
Please
have
tell me you
counter.
have counterspell.
I have counterspell.
All right. So here's what we're gonna say. I'm gonna let you do it because it's the first time that like you've ever had the opportunity to do it. In the future, you have to remember that before we
Yeah.
like fully resolve the
That's
spell.
true, yeah.
So for now, I will let you do it. This is you are gonna have to make a roll for this probably.
Yeah. How do I?
Well, actually, no, you don't. It's not a high
Save
enough.
saves.
It's not a high enough level spell slot.
Wait. Do I have counterspell? I might only have. Where would counterspell be?
Do you have counter charm? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, I have counter charm, but I thought
Okay.
I also had counterspell. Is
Uh,
counterspell a spell?
yes.
Spell's a spell.
Okay, I think I used to have counterspell, and then I got rid because I never had to use it. So never mind.
Okay.
Okay,
All right then.
so Oz does indeed let go of the.
I used to have it, and I
Oz
literally
opens
never
the
used it,
couch.
so I picked something
Oz
else.
opens the couch. He doesn't move the couch, so the couch is still there at least, but he like stops holding it, and just kind of like takes a step away. That was Blakelock's turn. Aelar, that will bring us to you.
Loud cursing in Draconic. Okay, what's gonna do more damage? Him failing to save or me sneak attacking him? Sneak attacking him, probably. That's if I can hit. So I'm gonna run over and I'm gonna try and stab Blakelock.
Okay, roll the hit.
I miss. That's a 10.
Ooh, yes, 10 does miss. You run over, you like stab at him. He quickly deflects, kind of like parries your attack. Okay, so now this guy, a natural 20, and now Ozrius is not holding the door in contest. So this door like smashes open, and two more like security goons like barrel into the room. I'm gonna make dexterity saves for them. One of them succeeds, the other fails. So they like bash through these doors and come like charging into the room, but the couch kind of like topples over. They come running in. The one guy goes like, "Whoa!" and like vaults over it. The other guy is not quick enough, and like just like fully like collides with this couch, and like tumbles and falls to the ground. He's now like prone at Ozrius's feet. But there's two guys in the room, and like behind them outside, you see like a bunch more of the like security of this place that are like scrambling around, but like several of them turn and see that like the doors are now open. So that is that's gonna be their turn. They took their action to break the door down, and they used their movement to come inside. So that's all that those two guys are gonna do. Walter, that will bring us to your turn.
Oh no, I can't do both. I can't take any more hits from these people. I am going to bonk the madness guy, I guess.
Okay, roll the hit.
Let's see. Roll for bonk. Let's see if that happens. Does a 20 hit?
A 20 hits.
It's gonna be 9 points of bludgeoning, and then another point, or another some number of points of the spell that I have active, which is on a different page somehow than everything else I'm trying to do. Boy, who made this character? Jesus Christ.
Had Hex on, I believe.
Yep. And another 5 points of necrotic damage.
+5, you say? Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Dang, if only it was 6.
You, like, shovel him now in the back of the head because he's now facing Blakelock. In fact, if only it had been 6. He does look like a stiff breeze would knock this guy over, but he's still, like, wrapped in this crown of iron and sort of spiky barbed wire. It's going to be his turn. Actually, I needed to make a save at the end of his last turn, which he did fail. So he's still affected by that. He attacked Blakelock again? Okay. His attack against Blakelock will hit. Blakelock takes 4 piercing. And he'll make a con save, which he fails. This dude gut stabs Blakelock, and just like pulls the knife out, and Blakelock collapses to the ground unconscious.
Cool.
So Blakelock, for mechanical purposes, is now making death saves. Alrighty. That is that guy's turn. So Bram, it is your turn. So you still have your Crown of Madness activated. Oh, actually, let me make him make a save again. Fails again. So you still have your Crown of Madness active. He has not managed to shake that off. What are you
Your
doing?
character is making death saves, and I continue to stab them. Do they extra?
If
do
you
they
stab
die
him,
faster?
you have advantage. You have advantage to hit because he's prone, and you're making a melee attack. If you hit him while he's down, you automatically deal him 2 death saves.
Okay. I am
2
going
failed
to-
death saves, rather.
I am going to do that. Roll advantage. 19 was the highest one.
That will hit.
Plus, that was 19 plus things.
Yeah, don't worry about that, and don't worry about damage. So you automatically deal him 2 failed death saves.
Here's the question: if I then psychic blades him.
No,
Then-
I would count that all as like the same attack.
All right, so I'm not gonna.
So you can't like coup de grace him in one shot here, unless you were like a fighter and had multi attack or something.
Okay. So that's all I'm gonna do. That I'm gonna save my last bardic inspiration. In case.
So as Blakelock goes down, you guys see like Ozrius like shakes his head, and like kind of looks around and goes, "Ugh," and then looks down at the guy that's on the floor in front of him, who like looks at Ozrius and like looks at the scene. His partner, the other guy that didn't fall down, as you like stab Blakelock on the ground, he goes like, wait, just don't kill him. We can resolve this without anyone having to die. And he like holds a hand to the like 12 guys that are currently like rushing towards the door, and he like holds his hand back and he says, just hang on. And he says, just wait. but it is Aelar's turn first before like this guy technically he's free action to speak, but it's Aelar's turn in the initiative.
Gonna try something fancy. I'm gonna try and do one of those fancy things where someone kicks a sword up and catches it, and I'm gonna do it with Blakelock's sword.
Okay. You kick that up. Just make like a dexterity check.
Okay. 12?
Yeah, easy enough. You
Okay.
kick it, catch it. You do see that there appears to be, like, as you catch it in your hand, there are these, like, hinges on, like, the hilt of the blade and the, like, kind of midway. Like, you kind of get the sense of, like, it, like, folds up. That's how it was in his sleeve.
And, holding blades in both hands. All right. I'm listening.
Bram, actually, we're gonna have to resolve this. What was your command to the other guy who's Crown of Madness on your turn there?
Did these guys see me? They saw me stab Blakelock?
Yeah, that's what incited them to like hold on, everybody be cool, like don't kill him, we can like stop the fight. So like they saw that. The Crown of Madness guy though, like you have to give him a command on your turn where he just does what he wants.
That was said after my turn or before my turn?
That would have been said
after.
Oh, actually,
he used his action.
You used your action to attack Blakelock.
So...
That guy's free. So he's going to get his turn when his turn comes. The Crown of Madness does end. Yeah. So we'll see what he does when it gets to his turn. Okay.
I was going to say, like, meta-wise, like, if Bram would have told that guy to attack, so it doesn't matter.
Right. No, so the spell does end. Those guys are going to hold their action, because it's now the two guys who rushed in. Those guys hold their action, because they're going to wait to see what you guys do. They're trying to, like, parlay for you guys not to kill Blakelock in, like, exchange for, like, everybody can walk away from here. Let's just talk. So they're going to hold their action to, like, if anybody does anything hostile, they'll move. But other than that, they're not going to act. Walter, that will bring us to you.
I wonder what they consider hostile. So, I'm going to see this, like, happen real fast. I'm going to... check my inventory, do a little pet. I'm gonna just pop a potion of healing.
Okay.
On my turn, I'm just gonna like hold out a hand, pat my shirt down, grab a bottle, and just down it.
That's fine. Nobody stops you from doing that.
So 2d4 plus 2. Six plus 2 is 8. Okay, that's all I'm doing my turn.
Okay. So the freed from the Crown of Madness, that like main guy of Blakelock's, the guy who you were kind of fighting, he's gonna survey the scene. He sees you basically, both of you, like standing over Blakelock's unconscious form. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Hang on a second. I need to do something real quick. Okay.
I haven't moved from the middle of the room. But...
No, we did. We passed Blakelock's turn, so I had to I just had to do something. He is going to see like what's going on, and he will like. He doesn't drop his weapons, but he like flips them so that they're like face downwards, and he's gonna attempt to like step back towards the door towards his other guys, and say, no need for any of this to go any worse than it already has. He says, we've got the boss in a spot. He says, but I can't imagine you want to fight your way through everyone out of here. Let's talk. So that's going to be his turn. Bram, that brings us back to you.
That window that he came in, was that an outside window?
Yeah, it's a window to the outside of the building. Now, granted, like, you're still inside the kind of, like, courtyard of this thing, so, like, it's just where all the guys are out there if you go out that window.
There's one thing I could do, but that would sort of screw the rest of the party.
Bye. Did he?
Yeah, there is. I have a pretty cheeky means of escape, but I don't know that I literally leave the whole party on their own. Okay, for the time being, I'll essentially hold my action and be like, all right, let's talk.
Then we've kind of been through the round, so everybody is like chilling. Okay. Want to make another roll for Blakelock? Okay. So everybody has stopped fighting for the moment. The guy who you had Crown of Madness, he goes, why don't you just, 4 of you just go? We will let you leave this place unaccosted. He says, let us tend to Blakelock. Everyone can walk away here without any further bloodshed needing to happen. He says, I don't doubt that a number of us would not survive further altercation with you. He said, but you're not getting out of here unscathed either. This way no one has to die.
I'm gonna watch Bram and and follow his lead. And like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna watch Bram.
Okay, here, logistical question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't remember if we ever determined this or not. The Bandor. Can I only use one of its abilities once? Or can I use, like, the charges in whatever way?
It has charges. You can just use it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can I cast the same thing,
Yeah.
for the...
Yeah, like if it
Why
only
would you
uses a spell slot or a charge or whatever, it has X amount of like you can do that. You just can use as many charges as.
Can I then how long would it take to then, back-to-back cast a bunch?
Depends, like, I guess it depends on, like, what happens when you do. Like, if we don't, like, roll back into initiative by whatever you do, like, you can do things back-to-back. Essentially takes an action, so, like, intervals of 6 seconds. But, like, so if, like, you do something that, like, triggers everybody to pull swords again and go back to fight, you're gonna have to wait till your turn again. If whatever you do, like, doesn't restart the fight, then you can just do it again afterwards.
Alright, I'm gonna try and bluff them then.
Okay.
I'm gonna, like, reach for my Bandor, and when I obviously see, like, they look like I'm gonna go for a weapon, I'm gonna say, I do my best thinking while I'm playing. It's sort of a multitask thing. I, like, slide the band.
As you, like, start to do that, the guy with the double poison swords goes, we work for a man who is part of your same organization. We know what you do. He says, don't start playing that instrument. We're familiar with your brand of magic.
Get me familiar with my fist in a second.
Aelar, you have a pretty high passive perception, right?
Yes, 18.
As Bram is conversing with these guys, you're standing, you're watching, you kind of glance down. Blakelock is not breathing.
Bram? I'm thinking this might be the best deal we got.
I'll turn, like, do it. Can I tell when I, like, look over at Aelar?
Turn and look, make a,
Yeah, I don't want to even try Thieves' Camp because obviously these guys will know it too.
You kind of turn and look, make a, you don't have to make anything. You're fairly certain that in the, like, the like 30 seconds or so that you guys have been like talking or whatever, after you like stabbed him and then everybody just like left him to be, you were pretty sure that he bled out and died.
Okay. I'm gonna go over then to him. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna try and stabilize him, and I'm probably the only one with healing magic. And I'm gonna.
Okay, make a deception check on that.
Okay.
Set the DC at a 10.
Well, it's a 22.
Okay.
I literally couldn't. I have a +10 to deception, so I literally couldn't fail.
Okay. The main guy kind of like tenses, but he like seems to be willing to let you do whatever you need to do.
I'm essentially going to make it look like I'm healing him, but I am going to take out the Mask of 1,000 Faces.
Yep.
Suck this man's soul out.
All right. So you kind of like put your back to them. You like go to kind of like work over them. But you slip the Mask of 1,000 Faces out of like the inside of your coat. This plain white, featureless sort of like Harlequin-esque mask. You put it on Blakelock's face.
I'd like to make a sleight of hand check to cast Minor Illusion.
Okay.
To try and disguise what
Do you also want me to make some sort of check to be?
Let's say so. Go ahead and make that sleight of hand check, Aelar.
Thank God for advantage. So that's a dirty 20.
Okay, and what are you doing with this minor illusion?
The minor illusion is as Bram bends over and starts working his stuff. I'm going to make the minor illusion that Blakelock's chest is starting to rise and fall ever so slightly.
Cool. Very good. Okay, and Bram, make a sleight of hand check of your own to try and disguise this action that you're doing.
That's a natural 20 plus 6.
Okay. So Bram, you watch in the sort of like
this dice is worth every penny.
The flickering lamplight of this room. You place the Harlequin mask over Blakelock's still features, and you watch as the shadows across the front of the mask sort of like move and dance in the lamplight in this room, and you see the shadow cast by Blakelock just like off of his still form on the floor, across the floorboards. His shadow begins to recede, and as his shadow recedes, it almost seems to like creep across his body and up into the mask, and for a few moments the mask is almost like saturated as if with ink. It begins to like blotch and patch in this like Rorschach pattern that vaguely resembles a face, and then it turns back to this like plain featureless white. But you can feel the essence locked inside it. You can also feel already the timer begins. You know that like it will not stay for long. You have about an hour. With his spirit locked in here.
I think I have an hour once I put it on. I think I have it for
24 hours before that.
Let me double check. Shadow, disguise yourself as the dead person for. You can disguise yourself for 1 hour. While disguised, you gain information. So, as another creature detected, guys will insert it. It doesn't say anything about.
So I think because we've reflavored this, because in pure mechanics this is not an item so much as it is an ability. In pure mechanics, I think you physically like take on it, like the fact that you can delay transforming into him because we've reflavored this changes things. In like rules as written, you would like turn into this guy immediately. So you can you have to put the mask on to turn into him, but like the timer starts.
Okay,
like, you have an hour. So you manage to successfully steal his shadow. Aelar begins to work a minor illusion that makes it look like he's like resumed breathing. And none of the guys in the room there seem to be any the wiser.
Even in the whatever. I was gonna say even in this, like accessing it is an action. If that's the DM rule, then
So we'll go with as described.
Okay, so I'll put the mask back,
Mhm.
and I'll go. Well, he seems to be stabilized, so I think we're gonna take you up. We're walking out of here, action.
Aelar will sheathe his rapier and try to go. You know what? I'll just hold on to this, and he'll put it in the. He'll do similar to what the assassin did, and have it along the back of his arm, so it's not immediately threatening.
I will also, before I stand up, I will look for whatever that rapier shooting mechanism was.
So you kind of pat him down a little bit. It just seems like the you kind of feel like there is some loops have been stitched into the inside of his his sleeve and his coat. But you
Nothing
think
special.
it was not the mechanism was not in the coat. It's the fact that the rapier folds down and it's the trick of the arm, the motion that he used to
so
fling
it's
it
the
out
sword,
and deploy.
not the,
It is
so
the
I'll pick up
sword,
the
not a mechanism that he has on
Aelar's
his
got that.
person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
Aelar,
realize
and
you
Aelar
picked
has
that
the
up.
rapier.
Okay. So
Yeah,
then,
we'll see about trading if you really want this one.
No, I mean I already have a fancy one. I just wanted to make sure we got it.
Oh yeah, that's why I did the fancy, kick, grab the sword thing.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys you stand up, you move away from Blake Lock.
Mhm.
You're kind of leaving.
Yep.
We're walking out, eyes open, no sudden moves, just.
So they all kind of back up and part out of the way to let you out. You walk out of this room. You walk out of the main room that was before it, and into the courtyard of. So you remember you're in what would have been the guest house of this manor. So you're in the walled in grounds of this, and then there's the main building still to get through to get back out to the street. So you get to this the grounds yard portion where there's tables and things set up.
As soon as we hit that,
As soon as you hit that,
because I know the clock is
several
ticking.
of them turn and go towards Blake Lock.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as we get out of their sight, and I know the clock is ticking on how long Aelar can do that, then I will slide my bandor off. I'm gonna cast invisibility on everybody.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Aelar's going. We need to move now.
You guys get out. So there's not you don't get out of each other's sight necessarily. You guys just pass each other, and once you've cleared each other safely, that you guys are moving towards the exit. The main guy with the two daggers and several of the others run over to Blake Lock, and so they start running this way. You guys start moving this way. Bram pulls out the bandor, and strums a chord that ripples through the air, and you guys turn invisible just at the exact moment that you hear that guy go, "He's dead! Stop them!" And a bunch of dudes whip they all look in that direction at the sound of the call. They all look back, and you guys are gone. And so bedlam breaks out, and somebody's "Where'd they go? Find them! Find them!" And they start rushing. So you guys are what? Just running for the door?
Hell yeah.
We're running for the barn. Aelar's plan is to use Mage Hand to maybe slide some of the horse paddock things open to add to the chaos, also to get our horses.
Okay. So make I want you guys to make a stealth check with advantage, to navigate through the rushing throngs of people here.
23.
Okay.
Stealth with advantage.
With advantage. Ozrius needs the advantage because he rolled a 7.
I rolled a natural 20, so I'm not going to roll higher than that.
You're
I rolled a
good.
dirty 20.
All right.
Yeah,
Ozrius
so I rolled a
rolled
22.
Ozrius rolled a 7 on his first one.
Can I bardic inspiration him?
He's okay with
Okay.
with his advantage. He ends up with a 16. So you guys come running through. Ozrius does bump a couple of people as the patrons now of this building are kind of rushing, and there's kind of this mass exodus towards the door as all these guards are now running around with swords and batons and stuff out. So you guys kind of like move in with the crowd. So like you get jostled a little bit, but it's kind of so chaotic that like nobody really takes notice of you. A couple of people like run smack into Ozrius and like fall down. But it seems to be like so chaotic that nobody really knows what's going on. You guys like manage to make it back to the paddock area, the barn, where you left. I believe you came with Bucky and Dr. Strongfast.
Yes.
Is that right? So Bucky and Dr. Strongfast.
It's not it's
Clipclop,
It's not
something
Bucky.
like that. Hoover. Oh, it's Hoover.
Hoover.
It's
It's
Hoover.
Hoover, yeah.
It's Hoover and Dr. Strongfast. You guys get back to the stable. You have your little chess pieces that indicate like where your horses are. And Aelar, you're trying to like mage hand some like stable doors open on your way past.
Yeah, basically to add to the chaos, because as soon as we pull open those paddocks, or we reappear, there's probably
Well,
going to be
we're
guards
invisible
there.
for an hour unless I drop concentration.
Or unless we do something.
Yeah.
Unless it's greater invisibility.
Is it greater invisibility or just invisibility?
It's just invisibility.
Then yeah.
I think even using an item breaks it.
So yeah, the
Well,
moment that we
creatures
open
have
those
become visible
paddocks,
until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying invisible as long as the target's position. The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell.
Oh, okay, then yeah.
okay.
In
Mage
that case,
hand would
then
do
not
it.
mage hand.
You can do it with your regular hand as you run
Okay,
down to your
that,
stable.
okay,
It's
in
fine.
that case, yeah.
That's
I
not
just-
a problem.
Yeah. Okay, so I
Throw
will.
some of these doors open.
Yep, I will
Um,
throw a couple random doors open.
Okay. So Ozrius runs over to Hoover, and like Walter, he like kind of like reaches out, and just like by like process of elimination, because he's got like a 97-foot wingspan of his arm, he like smacks into something solid that's invisible, like grabs you by the scuff of your like robes and just like throws you on the back of the horse with him. Bram and Aelar, you guys can jump on Dr. Strongfast. And you kind of like kick them into motion out of the stables, kind of like hooting and hollering and causing a little bit of like commotion that some of the other horses like begin to bolt. And so like several horses come running out. Those guys with their card table, like a horse like knocks their card table over that you played with them at. They like dive out of the way. Whoa!
I'm glad I
and you
left
guys
that gold piece then.
streak out into the night as chaos reigns back at the Red Tail. So you guys ride for a little bit to kind of get yourselves clear. But once you're fairly comfortable that you're not being pursued, what's your next course of action?
I'll dismiss the invisibility so that there's not like a couple of horses. Doesn't look like a couple of horses running wild in the streets.
Okay.
And then
So
I'm
you,
going to suggest that we head back to the Twilight Royale.
okay.
We did leave some stuff there, but I suggest we get out of here, get out of town as quickly as possible. They've got to have agents throughout the city.
So you're heading back to the Twilight Royale?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys rush back there. Twilight Royale is pretty busy by the time you get there. It takes you about 30 minutes to get back there. Bram, you're very aware of like the sand ticking through the hourglass on the Mask of a Thousand Faces.
Also, at some point, I'm going to use my last spell slot to myself.
Okay. That's no problem.
If you want me to take the reins while you Oh wait, do I know about your ability?
Yeah, you've seen me use it before. I used it.
He used it in the woods on that guy.
All right. Do you want me to take the reins and you?
Bram, you know it is not a good idea to do this. Specifically because this dude was a Brotherhood agent, you know that it is not a good idea to do this on the horse.
Yeah. No, I'll wait till we get back to Twilight Royale.
All right. Then Aelar's just going to keep a sharp eye out and try and see whether or not there's someone as they head past, someone's paying them like undue attention.
Sure. It doesn't seem like anybody does. You guys have moved pretty quickly, so like you have definitely beaten like any news of the commotion reaching like this far out into the city. rumors, news, and things will spread fast, but for now, like, you have gotten here before the news of this commotion has.
Okay.
So you're able to get to the Twilight Royale. It's fairly busy. You sort of come in. Reynard is like on stage, announcing like the next performer as you guys walk in, but Isengrim is behind the bar. You guys like drop off your horses to the stable hand who takes them around. Isengrim like gets one look at you guys, sets down the glass that he had been preparing, like quickly finishes pouring the drink that he was pouring, gives it to the patron, just like calmly walks over and like opens a door to the back room part of the way, and then like goes back to what he was doing without paying you guys any further attention.
I'll shoot him a quick salute as I head into the back room, trying to hide the fact that I have, a fairly serious step wound.
So you guys pile into this kind of like back room. There's a bunch of like kegs and things like that back there, but it's quiet. You're able to close the door behind you, and for now you are safe.
Oh, God, that guy hits hard.
Oh,
Could have been a lot worse. Could have had to fight all those dudes.
did you get what you came for?
I think we're about to
Yes.
find out.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I forgot to grab the... well, that whistle thing probably wouldn't have worked for us anyway.
Yeah. Would I have known what that was?
Not especially. I mean, you can infer from its use that it was some kind of enchanted object that like summoned his goons.
Well, at least I got this thing. How the hell does it... I'm gonna figure this out. Yeah, Aelar's gonna give Bram his space to do his thing, so he's gonna spend time tinkering with this rapier.
Is there a place I can take a nap?
Yeah, there's probably some like somewhere
Yeah.
vaguely comfortable you can lay down back here.
Alright, yeah. Walter will probably just like try to like take a nap, take a short rest while Brahm's doing his thing.
Okay.
Just to, 'cause I almost died a lot again.
All right, so Walter rests. Aelar is messing with the rapier that you took from Blakelock. Ozrius just kind of like thumps himself over by the door and just like sits there. He doesn't seem to have any like colorful commentary on anything that you guys did. It doesn't seem to faze him too much. And Bram, you have the Mask of a Thousand Faces, and about 30 minutes left before Blakelock's essence is leached from it and gone into the ether.
I will sit down, sort of in the middle of the floor, like cross-legged, and I will take out essentially a journal, and put it open it on the floor in front of me with like a pencil, and then I put the mask on, with the intention to essentially write down as much information.
You put the mask on, and your vision goes completely black. You lose all sense of perception of your physical surroundings. The Mask of a Thousand Faces is a tool developed by the Brotherhood of Artanis, used for infiltration and espionage. You know that it is a tool used by their special agents known as the Men of a Thousand Faces, who will kill someone and assume their identity in order to gain access to things that they know, places they might be able to go. The Mask of a Thousand Faces is also used for another purpose. You've only ever heard very vague stories about this. We will recall to some time ago when you slew a Brotherhood assassin who had been trying to kill Cartwright Delker's daughter, Tabitha. You killed him, and you said to him, you gave him a message to deliver to the Brotherhood when they got information from him. He said, because you know that they have their ways. You've never witnessed it before yourself, but this is how they do it. Brotherhood agents, upon whom the Mask of 1,000 Faces is used, have a different reaction than just a normal person. You find yourself standing in a featureless black void. You can see and feel your own body again, as if you're just standing in this space. But you don't see anything else around you. Until you turn, and you see standing maybe 10 feet away from you. No wounds on his body of any sort or anything like that. Just staring at you perfectly placidly is Blakelock. And he says, I take it we're in the Mask. How unfortunate. Didn't need to be like this. I would have let you leave. I don't have any interest in what the Brotherhood's doing. I just wanted to run my operation and make my money. I suppose it's too late for that. Ask.
Tell me everything.
He says, understand that I can't tell you anything that Blakelock didn't know. I also can't tell you anything that he took certain precautions to block. Just this type of interaction. You know as well as I do that I'm not him, I'm merely his shadow. But I'll tell you what I can. The Brotherhood of Artanis is a large organization. Larger than you can imagine. It infects every strata of every major kingdom on the continent of Orhul. Valand, Mithlinde, Honorand, the Ignean Empire, and yes, the Bookkeepers. The Brotherhood has agents in all of them. Cells operate independently of one another. By design. It is intended that they push various agendas of their own independent of one another, so long as they don't interfere with the Brotherhood's larger plans. It's done this way so that when one cell is compromised, it can't damage the entire organization too greatly. As you have gotten the inkling of, but I imagine now that you've killed me, as you're about to learn, cells or individuals who stray too far from the path or cause too much trouble are dealt with harshly and lethally. He gestures towards you. My predecessor and myself, tasked with bringing individuals like you into the organization. You're considered disposable, at best. Given enough information about the organization and its nature to keep you in line. Told that the organization is in the business of moving and shaking for those who ask for favors and can pay for it. The organization is presented as willing to do what needs to be done to make those things happen. Always the goals are presented as noble, or profitable, or whatever any particular individual needs to hear to get them on board. But you're never privy to more information than you need to know. The fact that the Brotherhood has its own agenda and has been wheedling its way into every strata of power in the Five Kingdoms over centuries is considered need to know. And people at your level don't need to know.
At that point, Bram is going to interrupt and say, I know what you're doing. You know that the clock is ticking. And right now you're trying to delay feeding me a whole bunch of explanatory bullshit. Get to the information.
And he smiles. He says, "You attribute more free will to me than I have. I'm not Blakelock. If you want more specific information, you're going to have to ask more specific questions. What is it about the organization or their plans that you want to know? I can't lie, you know this."
What are they trying to do? Big picture endgame stuff.
He says, "That is information that Blakelock didn't know." He says he has snippets of information about what certain individuals among the inner circle were doing. But he was only a cell leader in Valand. No, Valand? What's Valand? Valand. He was only a cell leader in Volrenheim, in Valand. You were considered need to know on a much greater number of things, but there's plenty that even he didn't know. He only understands portions of the master plan.
What are those portions? Give me names and what they were doing.
He says there are 5 members of the Brotherhood's inner circle at all times. When one dies, they're replaced. Blakelock only knows 3 of them. He says the 5 leaders of the inner circle and Artanis. He says they use code names, just like Blakelock. Isn't his real name. He knows 3 of the 5 of the inner circle. The ones he knows are codenamed Pendragon, Lohengrin, and Eberron. He says, and of course, the leader of the group, Artanis. Just like the others, it's a mantle. Passes from person to person as the leader changes. Kind of shakes his head. This is only a guess, but his assumption is that there was an original Artanis, but now the name is symbolic. He says, as for what he knows, there are 3 pieces of relevant information. Pendragon operates within the confines of the Ignean Empire. He or she has been working on something for years. All of a sudden, they have a very particular interest in mercenaries out of the Iolocus Archipelago. A group of people from an island that have near legendary abilities. He's put a large bounty for anyone who can capture and retrieve one for him. Eberron also operates out of the Empire. He or she is on the verge of some sort of major move involving the Empire's navy. Blakelock did not know any further details than that. He says, that's all Blakelock knew about specific motivations of members of the inner circle that he was aware of. As I said, there are 2 others that he doesn't know about. He says the only other thing that he knows is that after you and your friends got involved, and Cartwright Delker shit the bed in Niveria. And you stopped our assassin from taking out his daughter. Things have accelerated in Mithlinde. He wasn't lying when he said you were quite late to the party to stop most of these things. Things he knows about are already well in motion.
Any more specifics?
He shakes his head.
Find or contact any of these people?
He shakes his head. He says, Blacklock did not have that information. The Brotherhood are very good at keeping their agents isolated. Keeping, he gestures towards you, things like this from exposing too much of their plans. He says, if I may step outside the boundaries of the strict relationship of the Mask of a Thousand Faces, the fact that Blakelock had as much information as he did would not have pleased the Inner Circle. He says he had been doing some digging of his own. A dangerous game, but he was rather ambitious in and of his own right. He kind of like smiles a little bit ruefully, and he says, frankly, you kind of hit the mother lode, taking him out, getting this information from me.
Who did he directly report to?
He said, the chain of command that he was part of eventually led to Lohengrin. He said his reports, people that he sent forward, he knows that they eventually ended up in the chain of command regarding whatever Lohengrin is working on. He says, in terms of individuals that he worked for, or that he reported directly to, Lohengrin prefers a numerical system of naming to their lieutenants. He says it wasn't always the same, but it was always someone referring to themselves as a number. Agent 1, Agent 5, Agent 7, Agent 8, things like that.
And would they always contact him first? Or did he have a means of contacting them?
He says there was an established meeting where they would come to an agreed upon place and an agreed upon time. He says, you can be assured that the fact that he is dead will reach them long before you have any chance of intercepting one of these meetings, though.
Was there anything else?
He kind of like grins a little. He says, not a real guy, remember? Gotta ask specific questions.
Out of game suggestion, Russell. What we know about what Conrad Delker was involved with, the intelligence reports about Ignean soldiers massing near the Mithlinde border.
Yeah. I guess I'll ask for specifics on that, since that's, I guess, our closest.
The only thing he's able to tell you is that he basically kind of repeats the information that he already gave you there. He doesn't know which, like, inner circle person is, like, in charge of that. And he doesn't know really what the plan is there. He just knows that like some stuff involving some like corrupted members of parliament was going on, and that like you guys really fucked things up when you like got involved in Cartwright Delker's assassination, and like kept his daughter alive. And now she's like got the ear of the king because you guys heard she like went and sought asylum with him. But like he basically like the only information he has there is that like there's some plans that were in place there and that like they got botched because of your guys' involvement, and because of that things have been like the timetable has been accelerated.
Newland Fidget.
Yeah.
He does not know anything about that.
Okay. Let me see. What else? Beyond the general that he gave us about we'll go with Oberon. Something about the Ignean Navy. Any specifics I might know about that?
The only thing that he knows about that is that like whatever it is took like an enormous amount of doing. It's the work of like years. His like he doesn't have specifics, but his like sense is that like in a manner of speaking, like the Brotherhood is basically in control of the Ignean Empire's navy.
Okay. Within his circle, is there any sign that the Ignean army might be making a move to invade Valand?
He has no information on that.
Okay.
He doesn't believe so.
All right.
Or if it's happening, he had no Blakelock had no information about it.
All right. Jason, I swear there's something I'm missing. You got any ideas?
I mean, Walter's taking a nap and is not part of this. But the thing, as far as like
technically, Aelar's not part of it either. This is free talk out of character.
Yeah. Things we haven't thought about in a while. The Pendragon thing was interesting. That he knows that they specifically exist. Any information regarding like where they might be, we already kind of got. They're in
He knows Pendragon operates out of the Ignean Empire somewhere.
So I will ask this group of individuals that Pendragon is interested in. Can you be more specific? What island? What individuals?
He says yes. He says the mercenaries from Naporia. He says you know the ones. He says they tell stories of them, that they can jump to the fourth story of a building unimpeded, that they can throw a man 100 feet, that they can cut you down with merely their mind. Like the legend, like the rumors. Does Bram know what it is? The rumors of Naporian mercenaries are pretty well known throughout the.
So he's looking for lunar warriors.
He says yes. He says some months ago, he apparently decided that for one reason or another, whatever he's been working on, requires them. He put a bounty on anyone who could capture and bring one in.
All right. Well, then I, out of character, I at least think we have a next move.
This is drastically more lore than we're have gotten in a long time.
This is an enormous amount of information about the Brotherhood and its moves.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else I can think of? We know that they're moving up the timetable in Mithland Day. Out of character. Sign that the Empire and Mithland Day may soon be going to war.
He doesn't have the information on that. The information that you guys have on that. So we'll do some trawling back through the episodes here. your involvement with Cartwright Delker. Originally, Bram was tasked with bringing him a dossier of information from the town of Woodpine to Nibiria. Bram looked at that information, even though he was like instructed not to, and saw that it was information that seemed to indicate that the Empire was actually de-escalating things at the border. That was what was in the information that Bram gave to Cartwright Delker. Cartwright Delker became quite distressed when you delivered this to him. And he, like, delivered you guys a very vague speech about, like, where does one draw the line between their dedication to the greater good and their loyalty to their country and their people. And, like, didn't really elaborate on that, and then turned up dead, like, the next couple of days later. You guys, his daughter tracked Bram down, because you guys made, like, a big doofy scene at the party, and, like, she knew, like, I have not seen any of these people before, and there was, like, a half-orc and a powdered wig at my birthday party that took a meeting with my father, and then he died the next day. So, like, she tracked you guys down, thinking you were her father's, like, assassin, essentially. And through all of this, you guys, like, worked out that, like, you didn't do it, but you're pretty sure that the Brotherhood did. Because you think that Delker refused to, like, pass on this information that you brought him. And you kind of, like, came to the conclusion that you think that this information was falsified. Tabitha Delker, basically, the Brotherhood tried to assassinate her. You stopped that. And then you, like, she went to go to the king to try and seek protection and, like, tell the king about this. And she was, like, she went to him and, like, went under his protection. The last you, like, talked with her. After the thing with the library in Mithlinde, where the library burned down in Nibiria, when, like, things went to shit and Nuala and Fidget, like, left, and Tori and Idrian basically told you that, like, hey, look, I've been manipulating you guys because I, like, mess with the loom of fate, and I think, like, the world is going to end, and you guys are instrumental to it. Like, that whole speech he gave you. He told you that, like, things were going to start accelerating. And he told you that a time was going to come when you were going to get a message from Tabitha Delker. And when that came, you had, like, maybe a month to, like, before, like, things were really going to hit the fan. The other piece of information you have about, like, the Mithlinde, Ignean Empire border is that on your way down to Honorand, you guys found that Mithlindian, like, patrol that had been murdered. And you found a single arrow that was like a white shafted arrow with, like, blue feathers on it. You didn't find the source of, you didn't find whoever had attacked these guys, but, like, you did find, like, that murdered patrol along the Mithlindian Ignean border. Technically, like, Mithlindian, Honorandan, Ignean border, kind of, like, in that area. Those are sort of, like, the two major pieces of information you guys have gathered or, like, directly been involved in thus far about, like, conflict. So it kind of seems like some stuff is happening, and Mithlinde is getting, like, the wool pulled over its eyes.
Okay. Does he know anything about any of the agents in the Bookkeepers?
He does not know who any of the agents in the Bookkeepers are. The only thing he does know is that he doesn't think that they are particularly well placed. Like, he's never gotten whiff of anything, like, major being moved and shoved within the Bookkeepers. Because they're so damn magical it seems that the Brotherhood is not necessarily managed to put somebody like in the upper echelons of the bookkeepers at this point.
Little relieving, not terribly so, but a little. Anything else, guys? I'm drawing a blank here.
That's about everything that like you can possibly get from him. There's
Okay.
really nothing else that like he would be able to give you. You guys did a pretty solid job of like pumping all of the information that Blakelock would have been able to provide. So I think with that, Bram, you like reach the end of your time, and the like vision of Blakelock's, essentially like the imprint of his psyche, leaches from the Mask of a Thousand Faces, and it sort of like falls off of your face, and drops to the ground. You sort of like see your surroundings again. And we can say that you've been like subconsciously like scribbling your conversation the whole time, so you have notes on all of the things we discussed.
Hey, I got it.
Yeah, you managed to fold this thing up. So what that rapier is, it has the normal stats of a rapier, but it is in fact a like folding concealable rapier. So you can like fold it down. It folds down to about a foot long, and you have advantage on sleight of hand checks made to conceal it upon your person.
Nice. All right. Standard rapier, not magical, nothing of that nature. Just
a fancy
okay,
piece
just
of
wanted to make sure.
Fancy piece of craftsmanship.
Very nice. So, you're muted.
Well, I have something you're probably not going to like.
I've liked none of this. Hit me.
We're probably going to have to go to the Empire. And we're going to have to find a Lunar Warrior.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but as far as getting us in the Empire, I know a guy. It's going to be a little bit difficult with the four of us. Me, yeah, very easy. Hell, I wouldn't even have to involve anybody else. Border jumping, something I've been doing most of my life. Walter, fairly easy. Humans can get around mostly freely in the Empire, depending upon the area. You and Oz. I have an idea. I'm going to have to run it by my guy, but enough time may have passed. And it's going to fall a little bit in your wheelhouse, Bram.
There is
if the idea comes off.
Tap, 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 tap. Tapping on glass. You look, and there is a sparrow sitting on the windowsill in this back room.
As long as it's not a cardinal.
It's not a cardinal. It is a sparrow.
All right, I will open the window and retrieve the sparrow.
You open the window, you come in, the sparrow's on your hand. It turns its head towards you, Bram. Opens its beak. Its eyes flare blue, the runes around its neck flash with runes, flash with light. And the voice that comes out of it is familiar to all four of you. And funny enough that you guys have just been having this conversation about the progression of things and time past. Because the voice that comes out of this sparrow is the voice of Tabitha Delker.
Yep.
Hell.
And it says, "To my friends and associates, I hope this message finds you well. I myself have been staying with His Majesty King Oldo, who has been so generous to me since my father tragically took his own life. I have discussed that matter a great deal with King Oldo. He has been an invaluable source of comfort and understanding. His thoughts and insights have been rather illuminating. Should you find the time to pay a visit to Niveria, I am sure a visit would do us both well. Do not tarry too long, lest you may miss me altogether. I have been considering a trip to the countryside. Sincerely, Lady Tabitha Delka. And with that, the bird clamps its mouth shut, and it waits. It'll wait a period of time in case you guys want to send a return message before it takes off on its own.
I turn to everybody and I go, is it just me, or does that 100% sound like a coded message that she's in some deep shit?
That it's not just you.
Even the bird is like...
Okay. So just like Adrian said, we're now on the clock.
I'll respond back to the bird and say, like, our dearest friend Tabitha, it just so happens we will be passing in the neighborhood shortly. We would gladly stop and visit to reminisce about old times.
Okay. So you take that message, the bird's eyes, like, as you're speaking, the bird's eyes kind of like with the sort of like blue illumination, and when you finish talking, it gives one sort of like tweet whistle and takes to the air and flies back out the window that it came in, disappears into the night.
All right. So I do want to finish our bookkeeper business. Let's see if our contact here can arrange to send the book back. Because otherwise we're going to continue to hold on to this, and I don't want to end up getting lost because, one of us gets fireballed.
Did we not have a scroll of teleportation to get back?
We do.
You have a scroll of teleportation that takes you to
Wherever we're
28
gonna go?
to 28 Dorset Street in Niveria.
Ah.
I thought
Well-
for sure I was gonna have to remind you guys that you had a scroll of teleportation. You had it's it's
I forgot where it
empty.
went, yeah.
It's empty now because the wizards moved out of it. But you have a scroll of teleportation that will bring you back to 28 Dorset Street.
Okay.
Well, if only we had a MacGuffin in our back pocket this whole time. Oh, look at this.
All right. So, like Adrian said, now got a month, maybe less.
Yeah, even though we're pretty banged up, we can rest after we teleport there.
Or we can rest
Let's
here.
rest.
and
We don't know what we're
teleport
gonna walk
there.
into,
Uh,
given our luck so
my
far.
thought is though that like we're kind of big time wanted criminals here right now.
Are we going to be able to get the horses out with this teleport?
I think you can take up to 8 willing creatures, right? With a
It does
teleportation
say willing
spell?
creatures.
So I think
Alright,
as long as
Convince
you can
Dr.
like,
Strong's past
as long
that
as
he
you can
wants to
convince
go.
the horses to go, and you have 3 horses here, right?
Yeah, we have to go
Because
get
Henrietta's here too.
Oh no, our cart.
Okay.
The
Well,
cart, yeah,
we
the
got
cart's gonna get stuck.
Okay. Well, tell our generous hosts congratulations. They now have a spare cart for moving things and stuff.
Also, we have to get the jewels that
The jewels are here.
Walter stole. That Icewind is.
They have, they have the
I was
the jewels.
generously donated those jewels by that fine gentleman you stole the sword from.
All right. Well, it seems you guys are decided on your course of action, plus or minus fencing some goods and figuring out how to teleport some horses. But we will return next time to see how that plays out, as this is where we'll end tonight's session. Can't wait to see what the resolution to teleporting 3 horses into the 3rd floor of these people's building is.
And not just any horses. I'm pretty sure you have a draft horse.
It's gonna be like in Galaxy Quest where they accidentally teleport that thing inside out.
Remember, we're teleporting at the same time, so I
Yeah.
don't want that to happen.
It's gonna happen
It seems you have a veritable cornucopia of information about the Brotherhood of Artanis and their movements.
I can cast Speak with Animals though, so that
You
might
can
make
cast
a
Speak with
difference.
Animals. And you have he did it again, that rascally Turian Idrian. He sure called it, because at a preposterously fortuitous or I guess coincidental time, The message from Tabitha Delker that he warned you would come has come, letting you know that you are less than a month from things going seriously sideways in the Five Kingdoms of Orahol.
Cool.
So, with that, we will thank our sponsors one more time, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I cannot express to you how much it has been eating at the depths of my soul that we have been that close to that much like meta plot information coming out for like 2 months. And we haven't been able to play this half of the campaign.
Say it.
At last, we begin to start learning about things that may put us in contact with a certain ship of scurvy sea dogs.
Things certainly do seem to be a little piratey with this last lore drop, but we'll see how things are continuing on that. Actually, I was gonna say that side of the continent, but it's not. You guys are on the same side of the continent. They're in a city just a little bit north of you, but
Not for long.
not for long. We'll
beam out of here.
Yeah, you're gonna beam out, and you're gonna be across the continent. But we'll see how things progress with them next Tuesday as we pick back up with the crew of the Grimm's Folly.
Oh right.
Oh
There's
yeah.
an NPC in that.
Oh,
needs naming.
did somebody pay to name an NPC Horsey Dude?
Yep.
Yes.
Christ.
Unfortunately, we passed him as we were leaving in the.
No.
But-
NPC.
I was gonna say we never named the big assassin guy. He could have easily.
No, he actually did have a name. I just forgot what it was. No, I got it. I will save that for next time. I already.
Tabitha Delker, now Horsey Dude.
No, I already know who. I already know who's gonna get the moniker Horsey Dude.
I don't like that.
It
I'll
is
handle
Steven
it.
again.
It's
Screw that guy.
It's his persona.
this is my horse.
Steven's persona is Horsey Dude.
So, let's send everybody off. So I'm gonna give Bram. I'm gonna give you a point of DM's inspiration tonight. As we saw the Mask of 1,000 Faces come out, and through it we learned quite a bit of information. So go ahead and mark that down on your character sheet.
Is there a way to do like multiple ones?
You can only have one, but I think you can give it to somebody
You
else.
can only have one. You can. Yeah, I'll let you donate it to somebody else if you already had one.
I think this one that's marked was one that Chad gave me. So,
Oh yeah, chat chat inspiration. Or
Oh,
something.
okay.
yeah. So
And I'm gonna rule that those don't transfer past the episode that they took place in.
So then,
So just have a DM's inspiration. We will be back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, right here on Proficiency Bonus for the Pirates, the continuation of the Pirates, as they're in a bit of a sticky situation themselves, as they may have accidentally sold one of their party members to a bunch of slavers.
What?
A guy named Vikros would be real proud.
Watch the you gotta watch the
I
other
will-
stream, Jason.
have to,
You know what's
double
going
check.
on. So stick around for the exciting conclusion of that, as they've sort of got a plan to do some things, break some chains, and start a riot. Basically, should be a good time. So we'll see you guys next time. Same bat channel, same bat time, same bat channel. And yeah, thank you for joining us. Good night and goodbye.